All right. Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be reviewing a movie that I kind of thought ended up being a heck of a lot better uh, than well, I shouldn't really say that because I did kind of like this movie from the trailer, but yeah. So this was actually kind of I found it was. How am I trying to? What am I trying to say here? Oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Right. So I found it to be kind of like a Netflix hidden gem, to be completely honest, by the end of this movie. Uh, so the main character is played by Rose Reed, Finley Sinclair. Um, Jedediah Goodark played Beckett Rush. Catherine McNarma played Taylor. Patrick Berman played Seamus. Uh, Sarah Weiss, Monica Jackson played Emma Callahan. I hope I'm pronouncing her actual real name right. And I'm trying to figure out who the... Oh, so I guess Fiona Bell was Nora Callahan, so that would have been Emma's mother. And who was Emma's father? Oh, Syrian McMahon must have been Sean Callahan, I do believe. And then Vanessa Redgrave played Kathleen Sweeney. And who was her sister? What was her sister's name? Oh, come on. Can't tell me that her sister wasn't Kathleen Sweeney. Who was her sister then? She's got to be here somewhere. I can't imagine her not being. Sweeney, 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 Sweeney. Seriously? Where is she? The heck was her sister's name? Huh, that just seems weird. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to look at photos just to see if they actually are in any photos together. The two older sisters or not. Damn. Well, that sucks. Anyhow, so this was about Finley Sinclair's story. She seems to be having, well, she's a violinist, and I guess she's trying to finish her schooling, but she's having trouble finding inspiration to, I guess, write her music to get into this school. So she decides to, I think, yeah, do a semester abroad in Ireland, I believe it was, and stay with the same family that her brother stayed with, I in previous years anyway. I know that much. And when she gets there, oh, actually, when she gets on the plane, she uh, ends up being seated beside this actor, Beckett Rush, who is part of this big, huge movie franchise and really well known, I guess, especially in Ireland, because I guess that's where he does a lot of the filming for these movies. Uh, So in the beginning, she kind of brushes him off, but then it ends up being that she is staying in the same house as he is, and the family is trying to keep it a secret so that obviously there isn't a bunch of paparazzi there and attention brought to their house and so on and so forth. And yeah, it doesn't end up going that way in the end because it seems that everybody is trying to control Beckett's life, and he kind of wants to do the same thing Finley is doing, and he kind of shows who he is as a human being, helping Finley out with her career as his kind of spiraling out of control, and the two of them obviously end up slowly falling in love. But, I mean, that was kind of one of the bits to the story, because in her one class, she gets picked to take, or to, I guess, kind of befriend somebody at the old folks' home in Ireland, and she ends up being matched with this older woman who doesn't seem to want to have to do anything with anybody, Kathleen Sweeney. who I guess is blamed for basically stealing her sister's husband years and years ago, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But it turns out that I guess her sister, she was actually saving her sister, which you find out closer to the end of the movie, because I guess the person that her sister was matched with ended up being extremely abusive. So yeah, Kathleen was basically protecting her sister from having any harm done to her, and her sister, I guess, didn't really want to believe that story in the beginning. But Kathleen is also dying. She has cancer, so she only has a very short amount of time left to live, I guess. So at the end of the movie, her sister does come to visit her right at the day that she ends up actually dying. So her sister forgives her, and then Kathleen passes on, and that was a moment that made me cry in the movie for sure, because it was just like, oh my God, this after all these years, you find out that Kathleen Sweeney wasn't the person that she was made out to be, and yeah, she was actually protecting her sister, and she believed that it was just better to be remembered as the bad guy, I guess, than the good guy, which is kind of sad because, yeah, you go on spending your whole life putting up this wall and shutting everybody out, and in reality, you just need to let more people in, which she finds out in the end, and she really does like Beckett. She says this to Finley quite a bit throughout the movie, and Finley gets help from Beckett and Seamus. Uh, yeah, was a violinist, but she becomes a very pretty good fiddler by the end of the movie as well, with the help of Seamus, who is the kind of like the town drunk, I guess, but also really knows his music, so he helps Finley throughout the entire movie. And then when she goes back, I think it's when she goes back to the States that she ends up being accepted, and obviously her and Beckett are happily together now, I do believe, and Beckett has decided that he is going to do this one more film to help his friends out that he's been around for years. And then he is going to actually stop doing any more films because his dad acts more like his manager than his actual father throughout the movie, and this girl Taylor seems extremely toxic throughout the entire movie, kind of playing the jealous card and saying that does this Finley girl really know you the way I do? We've been together for so long, or friends for so long, and we've been acting together since we were kids. So she tries to kind of keep him reeled into these films and to sign this new contract. But in the end, I think what needed to happen happened, and I think everybody will be able to survive without Beckett, obviously. And yeah, I guess that this movie did have a kind of happy ending, even though it also ended on a sad note with the passing of Kathleen Sweeney. So, I mean, but yeah, I guess that was kind of a necessary thing to have happen in the movie after her sister visited her, because I guess Kathleen wasn't going to. Kathleen was stubborn, that's for sure, and she wasn't going to go before she knew that her sister knew the truth, I guess, and was able to forgive Kathleen for what she had done. Now, I don't know why her sister, or I can't find her anyway, why her sister isn't cast. Like, it doesn't seem like she's on the casting list, unless I'm just completely forgetting her name. But I don't think I am. Was it Fiona? I don't think that's right, though. It could have been Fiona. I just wish there was like a picture of her in the, yeah, seems kind of weird. Why there is no photo of her sister when she was kind of like a main cast member. But anyhow, I guess it is what it is with that whole situation. And I guess, I don't remember her mom being in the movie, unless Finley's mom being in the movie, unless she was in it right at the very beginning. Oh, I guess maybe she was, if I'm remembering started this movie correctly. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say about this movie. Kind of a shorter review, but yeah, definitely hidden gem, and I highly recommend going to see it. So my rating, or yeah, going to watch it on Netflix or Amazon. If you don't have Netflix, you can, I guess you can rent or buy it on Amazon Prime, depending on the channels you have, I suppose too. um, but anyhow, yeah, definitely a much better movie than I thought it was going to be. So I did give it a 9 out of 10, even though I got a pretty low score on 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. But that's only 5,000 people rating the movie. So I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's kind of like a hidden gem. You kind of really have to be searching for these types of movies. And I don't know, it did have some comedy aspects to it for sure. Obviously the romance, and then I guess the main, you could almost say that the main story was more about her studying abroad than really falling in love with Beckett. And they were kind of living their own stories, and she helped him out, trying to kind of really finding who he was, as well as the other way around, right? And yeah, so really heartfelt. Even I would even consider this like a family movie that you could sit down and watch with your family, or like a date night type deal. Obviously, um, would be one of those movies for sure. But other than that, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye bye for now.